Above all, trust in the slow work of God. We are quite naturally impatient in everything to reach the end without delay. We should like to skip the intermediate stages. We are impatient of being on the way to something unknown, something new. And yet it is the law of all progress that is made by passing through some stages of instability, and that it may take a very long time. And so, I think it is with you. Your ideas mature gradually. Let them grow. Let them shape themselves without undue haste. Don't try to force them on, as though you could be today what time, that is to say, grace and circumstances acting on your own goodwill, will make of you tomorrow. Only God could say what this new spirit gradually forming within you will be. Give our Lord the benefit of believing that His hand is leading you, and accept the anxiety of feeling yourself in suspense and incomplete.
Advent it's just a great time of year because you've gone through ordinary time for so long, and it seems like nothing's really happening in the calendar, and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And well, there's college football, which is its own religion. So we have been observing the religious holidays surrounding Roll Tide, Alabama football. But you have all this anticipation for Advent, so it's always so exciting when you have that sort of first Sunday in Advent and things are getting started. And what Advent is it's so great because it's so countercultural to how our culture sort of celebrates and understands Christmas, which is rush, 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 buy, buy, buy. Advent is about waiting. And it's a beautiful season for that reason, because so much of the Christian faith is about waiting. It's about anticipation. It's about Saturday. We talk a lot about Easter Sunday, but there's that whole long Saturday in between where you're hoping and praying and wishing, and things don't look so great. And Advent sort of acknowledges that. Advent's about celebrating and acknowledging the waiting process and waiting for kingdom come and waiting for the incarnation. So it can be really cool and kind of countercultural that way.
Yuck. Gives me anxiety just looking at that. No wonder Captain Hook hated those ticking clocks. Waiting is the worst. But let's remember the quote from our devotional earlier. Don't try to force them, your ideas, on as though you could be today what time, that is to say, grace and circumstances acting on your own good will make of you tomorrow. Well, that changes how we view waiting, doesn't it? As if waiting isn't so much of waiting for something to happen as it is receiving something that may be happening to us. Like a gift we are receiving that we didn't even know that we asked for. Now, you may be in a season of your life where you have been waiting a long time, or in several different situations, you have been waiting, and it's been a tremendously unpleasant experience. So I want you to know that you don't have to do this practice with me if it's just too hard. But perhaps we can reframe our waiting into something different. Maybe instead of seeing it as an obstacle to getting what we want, we can see it as a gift to develop something different. Maybe a gift of time from God that we didn't know that we needed. Or maybe we can view it as a spiritual practice of waiting that allows us to examine how we idolize control and having control over things, so much so that we just can't wait for them. Now, I know this is hard to hear depending on the day or the month or the year that you've had, but a fact of life is that we will almost always be waiting for something. Waiting is a part of life. And our greatest freedom lies in our response to things, lies in our response to the stimuli that our life gives us. And so I just offer this as a potential reframe, not as something where you're not allowed to feel angry or upset about the waiting that you've had to do, but just as a potential helpful reframe, something that will help us in our response to waiting, that we are surely going to encounter many times throughout our lives.